You said on CNBC that RFK Jr. could cost lives as HHS secretary.
Let's have a look at Scott Gottlieb now, formerly of the FDA, regulating food and pharma. And now, working at Pfizer. How did he get that job? Did he make some connections, maybe, while he was at the FDA?
You said on CNBC that RFK Jr. could cost lives as HHS secretary. I would assume that means that you would prefer he not become HHS secretary. Is that a fair statement?
That's right.
Yeah. I was hoping you could run us through exactly what it is that you think he could do on vaccines that would be damaging. I mean, there's not really a chance of unapproving MMR, is there?
So I think you'll see efforts to do things like disband ACIP, try to get like-minded people, anti-vaxxers on ACIP who would potentially...
That's the vaccine committee of the CDC.
The Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices that advises CDC on immunization practices and makes recommendations about what should be included in the childhood immunization schedule. So if you took all the vaccines that are currently recommended by CDC and you moved them into the category that's called joint decision-making, which is a separate category that that requires a joint decision between the physician and the patient as opposed to being recommended where it becomes part of the childhood immunization schedule and the school entrance requirements, that could put a lot of pressure on a lot of red states that are currently under pressure to do away with childhood immunization schedules at the state legislature level.
What is it that's causing people to be so cynical about Pfizer and former regulatory government agencies, or at least the manner that they were formerly run prior to the ascent, pre-confirmation, of course, of Bobby Kennedy, Dr. Oz, Jay Bhattacharya, Marty Makary, and many other heroes of the pandemic? Oh, could it be this? Scott Gottlieb, who stepped down as Food and Drug Administration Commissioner in April, who you just saw roundly condemning Bobby Kennedy, will join the Pfizer board of directors. The company announced on Thursday Gottlieb resigned from the FDA this spring after nearly 2 years at the helm. CEO Albert Bourla, who is leading the effort to restructure the pharmaceutical giant into a more nimble company. Ugh, how disgusting. Imagine it all nimble and thin like Gollum, clambering into your bed nightly and trying to place its bony fingers between your thighs and give you a suppository of a Pfizer product that's probably not been clinically trialed correctly. We're fortunate to have Dr. Gottlieb join Pfizer's board of directors. Gottlieb, oh my word, almost on the very same day, joined CNBC as a contributor. Well done, you did great in the pandemic. You got a job at Pfizer, you got a job at CNBC. Here's the suppository for you. There you go, flip that thing straight up the butt. You don't even need to relax it. That little aperture is wide open, baby, from the shafting you've been taking from the forces of evil that are puppeting you through reality. I think it's absolutely extraordinary that someone who was as recently as a couple of years ago as marginal as Bobby Kennedy is now in control of the largest government department on the planet, who's in a position to make decisions that will impact the way that America eats, acts, behaves, and appreciates health and medicine. It's clear that at the deepest psychic level, America has become, if not dependent upon, addicted to sickness. If you take simply the example of the opioid crisis, the opioid crisis is born of pain. Unless people are in pain, they don't start taking pain killers. Now, the profligacy and wide availability of fentanyl, for example, obviously exacerbates that condition. The misinformation that physicians were given, they were told that fentanyl was not addictive, not harmful. The mass promotion of that drug by Purdue and the Sackler family, is clearly exaggerated that problem and that situation. But I would say the opioid crisis is merely an outlier of a generalized condition. We have become accustomed to eating toxic and poisonous food. We've become addicted to sugar, salt, and fat for reasons that are plain for anybody who understands anthropology or the history of our diet or the history of our kind. Foods that were scarce, we were rewarded for eating. So there is a kind of biochemical reward system in place when it comes to things like sugar. Surely we must get off this conveyor belt of sickness. Stop eating disgusting food. Stop taking detrimental medicines. Open up science through the NIH, which blessedly now is run by the heroic Jay Bhattacharya. That means he'll be able to direct what kind of clinical trials take place. And when money is spent, he can trial the power of natural immunity, of vitamin D, of sunlight, of healthy eating, of exercising, things that the pharmaceutical industry are not keen to trial because it doesn't lead to profits. We could be awakening to a better, healthier America and therefore a better, healthier world. We could be taking control of our health again, eating well, exercising according to our own scales, because there is incredible variety. Not all of us are going to eat the same things. Not all of us are going to reach the same standards of fitness through exercise, but all of us could be optimal according to our abilities, couldn't we? Let me know in the comments and chat. Surely all of us want our children to be eating healthy food, not disgusting toxic poisons. I don't feel good when I see my kids that's just Dr. Pepper, downing Dr. Pepper or eating that red dye 40 stuff that's plainly having some negative impact, in the same way that I didn't feel great about the recommendations to vaccinate children when it was plain there was no real requirement for it or no significant benefit of it. Trust in the pharmaceutical industry has rightly collapsed because they have a requirement for you to be sick in order to thrive. There needs to be a radical review. No wonder Scott Gottlieb is scared of Bobby Kennedy. He should be scared of Bobby Kennedy, but he should be more scared yet of God and of the reckoning that is coming, because there is a chance for all of us to radically review the way we eat and behave and treat our health, so the brilliant scientists, doctors and physicians that ought to be enthroned and celebrated can get on with the proper work of making America healthy again. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. If you're watching this anywhere other than Rumble, remember that Rumble is our home because they support our free speech and they stand up to corrupt and censorial governments across the world. Remember, Rumble have been kicked out of France, but also Russia and also Brazil. I don't know, what does that tell you? I would say it suggests an apolitical commitment to free speech, but you might disagree with me. Let me know wherever you are. Have you ever lied to a priest in a church on Christmas Day? I have. I need to be atoned and redeemed by the Lord. And how am I going to do that when I'm at home? Hello. In a time when so many things are uncertain across the world, it's important to solidify the things that get us through uncertainty. For me, it's my faith, and Hallow, the #1 prayer app in the world, is an amazing resource for me. They offer thousands of guided prayers and meditations, even music, audiobooks, and a lot more. This app is super easy to use and has great features for building a routine, praying with others. I haven't used that before. I'm going to go on Hallow and pray with others. And really tailoring the app to your spiritual needs. Hallow has 10,000 plus audio guided prayers and meditations included, such as daily prayers like daily gospel reflections, daily miracle reflections, morning psalms with Bishop Barron, and daily spiritual writing. It's also got contributions from Mike Schmitz. Who don't want to do a Bible in a year with Father Mike Schmitz? I love Father Mike Schmitz. Bishop Barron, brilliant mind, brilliant brain, brilliant Bishop Barron. And Jonathan Rumi, come on. Jesus is my body double. Mark Wahlberg and Jim Caviezel. Not just one Jesus, but two Jesuses. Jesus? What's the plural of Jesus? There is no plural on Jesus. They just released a terrific daily devotional series for men, women, young adults, those in grief, and people new to Christianity. So go to hallow.com/Brad to get 3 months free today. Praise the Lord.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.